So your church just bought a new speaker. It cost a lot of money. Everyone was excited, and the sound is still bad. That sounds familiar. Now, here's the truth nobody told you. The speaker was never the problem in the first place. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why and what the real problems actually are. Now, stay with me. This will change how you think about sound forever. Shalom to you, my friends. My name is Isaac from Church Media Volunteers Academy, where we train media volunteers to become better and positioned to serve correctly, both spiritually and technically, as they serve God in the media. If that sounds like you, I want you to consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Now back to the video. Now, let me establish a premise before we dive in. I need to lay one foundation, one truth, and everything else I'm going to say is going to build on this. And that is, a speaker has just one job, just one, to convert an electrical signal into sound. That's it. I'm saying this deliberately because many churches expect a speaker to do things it was never designed to do. And that's exactly where the frustration starts. So let's fix that right now. I'm going to start with 7 common misconceptions about loudspeakers. Misconception number 1, a better speaker will fix our sound. Now, I've heard this so many times. Pastor says our sound isn't good enough, we need a new speaker. They go ahead and buy something bigger, more expensive, the problem is still there. Why? Because the speaker was never the problem in the first place. A speaker is a messenger. You know, it's not a doctor, it's just a messenger. It cannot heal a bad signal. So whatever quality you send into it, that's exactly what comes out. It will only come out louder. Think of it like your phone camera, all right? If you take a blurry photo with your phone and you send it to someone with a better phone, their screen doesn't make the photo sharper. It just shows you how blurry it was, but it will show you in sharper details. That's the same thing with audio. Now, if you feed a high-end speaker with a weak and a noisy signal, it will reproduce that weakness faithfully, with power, with clarity, and with zero mercy. The speaker is the last link in a long chain. You know, there's cheap mics, noisy cables, unclean mix. The speaker didn't cause those problems. The speaker just showed them to you. And you know, sometimes people say things like a speaker has a good bass. That speaker doesn't create bass. It has the capacity to handle bass that was already there. If your mix has no bass, even the most expensive subwoofer in the world will stay completely silent. It cannot add what was never given. Clean signal in, you get a clean sound out. You put a distorted signal in, you get a distorted signal out. Just garbage in, garbage out. So before you spend millions on new speakers, you should ask yourself, is the signal I'm sending there, is it actually worth being heard? Misconception number 2, the louder the speaker, the better it is. Not true. Loudness is not quality. Now, a speaker can be very loud and it still sounds harsh. You know, sounds muddy, still makes people want to cover their ears. Now, in church audio, you're not trying to win a volume competition. You're trying to communicate a message. A great speaker is clear, every word understood, balanced, not booming, consistent sounds. The same in the front row and the back row as well. I want you to imagine the preacher who shouts every single word at maximum volume, right from the moment he steps on stage to the moment he steps off. Is it loud? Yes. Effective? No. Exhausting? Absolutely. A speaker that only knows how to be loud is the audio version of that experience. So if people are straining to understand the words, the sound system has already failed, no matter how powerful it is. So stop asking how powerful is this speaker. You should start asking, will everyone in this room hear clearly? Misconception number 3 is bigger speakers will solve our sound problems. That is also not true. If people are struggling to hear and the sound feels uneven, the problem is almost never the size of the speakers. Most of the time, it's placements or tuning or even the room itself. So I want you to picture this. You know, if you install the biggest ceiling fans in the world in a room, but they are all pointed at the walls instead of towards the people. Big fans, zero cooling. It's the same with speakers. Size means nothing without strategy. A well-placed, properly tuned system will always outperform a large, unstrategic setup every single time. Now, good sound is not about size, it's about the setup. Now, the fourth misconception is all speakers are the same. One is just louder. That is also not true. Not at all. Different speakers are designed for completely different jobs. Some are built for speech, where every word must land clearly. Others are built for music, where depth and low end and fullness matters. Some are also designed for small rooms. Others are built for large halls. Some are for indoors, some are for outdoors. So speakers are not the same. Just like you wouldn't use a spoon, to cut your meat, and you wouldn't also use a knife to drink your soup. Even though both of them are cutlery, but they are not the same. And using the wrong one makes everything harder than it needs to be. If you treat all speakers as the same, you will always get inconsistent results. Our goal is not to have speakers, it is to have the right speakers for the right purpose. Misconception number 5, expensive speakers are always better. Price is not a guarantee of performance. A speaker can be expensive and still be wrong for your space. Now, it can be wrong for your room. It can be wrong for your room size. It can be wrong for your ceiling height. It can be wrong for the kind of service you run. Just like a Ferrari, even though it's an incredible car, nobody debates that. But if your roads are unpaved and full of potholes and narrow, that Ferrari will give you a miserable ride. So whereas you could have gotten a well-chosen modest SUV and it handles everything perfectly, so the right tool for the right environment always wins. So when you're buying speakers, the price should come last. Start with what kind of sound do we need? What is the size of our room? What is the room made of? When you answer those first, then you can start talking about budget. Now, misconception number 6 is once speakers are installed, the job is done. Now, installation is just the beginning. A speaker that has never been tuned to your room is a speaker that never reaches potential. Every room is different. The shape, the size, the materials on the walls, whether this space is empty or full of people, all of these things affect how sound moves. Now, think of it like planting a seed. The moment you put it in the ground, you haven't grown anything yet. You still need to water it, you need to tend to it, you need to make adjustments as it grows. Speakers are the same. Installation is the seed, tuning is the water. So after installation, a good system needs to be measured, needs to be tuned, needs to be adjusted, and it should also be revisited every time something major changes in the room. In short, the speakers did not fail you, they were just never fully set up, all right? Misconception number 7 is one speaker can cover the whole room. That is not true. Sound travels in a straight line. It doesn't bend around corners. It doesn't magically reach the last row just because the volume is high. Now, imagine standing at the front of a long corridor, right? And you're shining a flashlight towards the back. Now, the beam is bright, close to you. But by the time it reaches the far end, it's faded. You need multiple lights placed along the corridor to keep it bright throughout. Sound works exactly the same way. When you are in a large room, you will need multiple speakers positioned strategically so that every seat gets the same quality of sound. So not just the front rows, or not just the people that are near the speakers, everyone. Because the person sitting at the back deserves to hear the message just as clearly as the person that is sitting in the front row. So these are 7 misconceptions that I found out among main church volunteers and main churches about loudspeakers. When your concept of speakers are wrong, you will be fixing the wrong problem anytime you discover a problem with your sound system and you think it's the speaker. I would like to hear your thoughts. What other misconceptions are you aware of that other church media volunteers make as regards loudspeakers? Or what are those misconceptions that you have also experienced maybe in the past or you still may have? You may still have those misconceptions. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Drop your comments below. And I have a group, a WhatsApp group for church media volunteers where we discuss, ask questions, and grow together. If that's somewhere you'd like to belong to, I'd like you to click the link and join the WhatsApp community. It's going to be added to the video below in the description of this video. And remember, if you like this content and you want more of such content, click the subscribe button, click the like button as well so that this message can spread to other people as well. Or click the subscribe button so that you can get notified every time I post a new video. So till I come your way again next time, I want you to remain faithful in the Lord's service. God bless you. Bye.